Welcome back, everyone. This is Local 865. I'm Dr. Bruce, Doctor of Acupuncture and Chinese Medicine, and with us today we have Toby. Go for it, Toby.
Toby Downing, pastor at Holston Baptist Church, and just tickled to death to be in the 4-H UT Extension Building in Jefferson County. And we look forward to hearing about good things happening in the county with our kids and with our agriculture and everything else.
All
And
kinds of things.
This is Robyn. Robyn, please.
Robyn Elswick, 4-H agent. I work for the Tennessee State University, and I've been here since probably 2017.
Okay. And with that, the programs that you kind of oversee and coordinate, what goes on here in Jefferson County?
Everything.
Everything
goes on here in Jefferson County. Our main project is public speaking. I learned at a very, very young age that one of the qualities that is needed to succeed is to be able to speak publicly in any form or fashion, whether it's an interview or getting what you need, those kind of things.
Wonderful. Something like what we're doing right now, right?
Yes.
Great. And there's also there's the 4-H camp. There's also a grill cook-off.
Oh, yes, there is.
Was there? I think there was something like quilting, or yeah.
Yes.
So with that in mind, how do people get involved? Like, how do you get the word out?
So we are one of the only states remaining that has what we call in-school clubs. So we actually go visit every 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade class, actually, in Jefferson County. And we teach them a little bit about 4-H each time we go.
That's just for the state of Tennessee. How many states are?
All the states have a 4-H program.
Okay.
Tennessee is one of the remaining that allows the 4-H agents to go into the school clubs.
Okay, great.
Or school classrooms. There we go.
So 4th through 8th.
Yes.
Got it. And what got you into 4-H?
So that's a very funny story. I had one of my daughters was in 4th grade and one was in 5th grade, and they both wanted to go to 4-H camp. Well, me being the helicopter parent that I am, I could not allow them to go to 4-H camp without me. So I signed up to be a volunteer. I went, and at that time, the agent her name was Miss Sarah Vaden, and I absolutely fell in love with the program. So
that's wonderful.
I've been, at the time that the job opportunity became available, I was a pre-K assistant at Dandridge Elementary.
And you get a lot of volunteer work from the students or the kids that come through as well.
Oh,
correct?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how does that impact their life, giving to that community?
I think it is like people perceive things differently. We have some that it has opened up a whole new world of, oh, I can do this. I can go here. I can actually speak for me. And it is amazing to watch. Now, some people, that is not their thing. They are the behind the scenes and they don't want to be up front in the spotlight. I'm that person. I would rather be behind the scenes making all the cogs and wheels turn than I would be upstate, on front of the stage. So.
Got it. And your area, you have a 4-H in your area as well?
Yes, Knox County does. I grew up in one of the reasons I think that this is in a good location is because Jefferson County is still a bastion of what little agrarian culture that we have. I have a feeling that there's going to be an ebb and turning to where, we've seen it in the past 5 or 6 years where everybody wants to have a garden, everybody wants to be a prepper, but there's a difference between doing it as a hobby and doing it as a way of sustenance and lifestyle. I believe we're ebbing back towards that. I believe that we are going to see a curb to the, I don't want to call it urban sprawl, but I will call it the suburban mayonnaise that is creeping throughout our agricultural communities. And I mean, where I'm from, Blount County, I grew up in a place called Benfield, and we were surrounded by farms. I mean, I played on the playground with kids that said, "That's my cow," and "That's my daddy's cows," and it was rural, yes, but it was just an adjustment to who we were. I mean, we left school and went and suckered tobacco, or we went and set out tobacco. Suckering was in the middle of it, and in the middle of summer. But it was nothing to walk away from school maybe at noon and go set out tobacco for a while. And that was part of life. And this is something that I also talked about in a conversation recently is we got out of school at Memorial Day and we didn't go back to Labor Day. Mm-hmm. And it's because we still had an agrarian lifestyle. That's gone. And as I drive through the haunts and hollows of Blount County, it's not even, I can't even ruminate on that lifestyle anymore there because all it is new houses and new construction, and people are going to learn the hard way in East Tennessee. You can't eat concrete. Okay. And golf courses don't grow corn. And there's going to have to be a comeuppance of this generation that's coming behind us, and 4-H can have a huge impact on that because you can learn that 4-H is about more than baby chickens.
What?
I think we're going to see a homesteading rebirth, and people are actually going to prioritize a little bit of acreage over the convenience of a development. And we're going to have kids that have no idea that their food comes from the ground.
So on that note, as you say that, I'm sorry.
No, go please.
On that note, as you say that, one of the very first projects that I got to introduce to a fourth grade class was the Market Hog Project. Mm-hmm. One of the questions was, does anybody like bacon? Right? Where does your bacon come from? I don't think there was a kid in that class that knew where it came from.
Wow.
And we call them market hogs for a reason. Mm-hmm. Most people don't understand what that means.
Whenever I was in the 4th or 5th grade, I told you that the bacon come from this part of the hog, and it usually came out the Friday after Thanksgiving because that's when you killed hogs. Yep. That's lost.
Yes.
And if right now knowing the market, and I'm sure you have some research on this and probably have an opinion too, but everything that we're eating that we call bacon, unless it comes from a Benton's company, something like that, it's not even owned by American companies. Correct. And these kids that are going to make that hard discovery, I mean, I'm almost wistful for kids that still live in the Midwest, Kansas, Nebraska, places where farming is still the staple of life. It's still the industry, not of choice, but of necessity, because they have a better grasp of this. But unfortunately, a lot of those corporate farms have been bought up by entities that our kids will have to be combative against just to have their own food in their own refrigerator. So 4-H is bigger deal. I'll look at the camera and say this because I wanted to say it for weeks since I know that you're going to be on here. 4-H is about more than baby chickens once a year.
Yes.
I mean, that's a great attention getter, and I'm sure it's a pretty good fundraiser too.
Oh, yes.
That probably gives a lot of sustenance to the 4-H program in the state.
Chain?
Yeah. What do you call it?
Chick chain. We call it our chick chain.
Chick chain. Okay.
Yes.
I'm not going to say that more than once. Fast. But if there is not, if we let this be erased from our culture in East Tennessee, if a hard time come, we would be the one that suffered because of it. Not just the kids that are coming up through it, but everybody. I mean, people don't have a knowledge of. I'm sure the answer that you got, where does bacon come from? That wall of refrigerated section in Walmart. That's where bacon comes from. No.
That's the answer.
So with that, we're having an influx of people moving into the area, and you're getting a variety of children now coming into to East Tennessee and to the 4-H. This has become almost a lifeline for these kids, for giving them a whole different perspective on reality. So recently, I would imagine, ever since 2019, 2020, you've seen new people coming in. What is the variety that you're experiencing?
That's a great question. It is, I mean, across the board, it is very vast. You have some that have been riding horses for the last 10 years and they're 11. And then
Mhm.
you have some that don't really quite know what a horse is.
Don't know
Got it.
which end is
Yeah,
which.
yeah.
So even with that, the growth that they have just from being exposed to it is amazing.
yes.
What would you consider some like entry level programs for these kids?
So some of the projects that we do, some of my favorites. You earlier you mentioned some of the projects in 4-H. Well, we cover about anything you can think of. How to fold a flag properly, how to sew with hand sewing, how to do machine sewing. I'm not good at that one though. And then we show animals, all the farm animals, whether it's a chicken, a pig, cows, goats, sheep. When kids start learning that those are opportunities, we get all excited and it's all yay until we figure out there's responsibilities.
So responsibility would be the biggest takeaway.
Oh, yes.
Learning how to be responsible not
Yes.
for your chore, but the life that you're taking care of as well. That's great.
That's one of the things we stress during the chick chain. They get 15 baby chicks.
Okay.
We ask that they bring 4 of those back, and then we auction off those 4. That allows us to purchase the chickens next year, and then the next year, and then the next year. Well, what happens if you don't bring those 4 back? That's money lost, right?
Mhm.
As far as the auction goes. Well, that money lost is putting us in a bind to be able to continue the project.
Right.
So that's the kind of the things we try to make them understand in the beginning. Because I mean, sometimes you just aren't good at raising chickens.
Well, not everybody's a chicken tender.
That's right.
Where does the primary source of your funding come from?
Donations, or we will do fundraising for like specialty groups. So we have a horse project group, and then we have a shooting sports program. They work primarily off of their own fundraised money. There we go. I'll get that out in a second. So they do it all on their own. It is a growth. It's a project.
I have it would be more of a specific. I'm meeting a lot more adults who are getting into this more than and then they get their kids in as well. But
Yes.
I am meeting a lot more adults who now we have property, now we feel stable, we can expand through chickens or goats, what have you. I get asked personally to help show how to process animals. Is that something that 4-H does as well?
4-H does not.
Okay.
There are certain lines and mental thoughts and all of this that we have to consider with young ones. But if parents want to bring their children to see a process, and we process chickens out back here.
Okay.
Really?
Yes.
Have you got a plucker?
It's a machine.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't really like to hang out for that. So
Okay. I need to rent that plucker from you every once in a while.
that's
But-
not my favorite thing.
Do you offer adult programs as well?
Yes.
That's great.
Now, as a 4-H agent, I do not offer adult programs. I'm strictly youth.
Sure.
But we have an agriculture agent that, I mean, he gets bugs brought in to identify them. He gets leaves off of trees. He has to go out and see this, and he'll help you with row crops. And he is actually even planted some. So I mean, the variety right there is enormous.
Wonderful.
Sounds like my kind of hippie.
He's pretty cool.
And then apiary, bees. 4-H does not work with bees? I'm just asking.
There's a problem here.
So my mentor, before I started this, was huge in the area with bees, and I learned from the best. So, with that being said, my duties, as they are, do not allow time for that particular subject.
Got it. Okay.
That's a full-time job.
My job,
No, keeping bees.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
It is it's a really cool learning experience.
And if you keep bees, I need 2 hives on Wooddale Church Road in Strawberry Plains, Tennessee, because my corn come out with crooked teeth this year. People don't realize that. my wife especially, if it has wings and could have the potential of biting you, she wants it dead. And she doesn't realize that that's affecting the ecosystem. It's not just the mosquitoes in the backyard, it's the honeybees on the clover. Well, the corn patch across the driveway, it did not get pollinated it didn't show its potential like it could have because of the lack of bees. And am I'm a carnivore. I believe that the whole cycle of life is necessary to sustain humanity, but I will stop my lawnmower and let a honeybee finish that clover because and we've seen in the past 2 months, it's even made national headlines that is something that is detrimental to our food security. I brought that word up a little sooner than I wanted to, but I'll go ahead and bring that. 4-H needs to emphasize to these kids food security because it's great to pet these little lambs. It's great to rear these generations of livestock. But what we're seeing there is not pets. It's not pot-bellied pigs. It is food security. And that is, not to bring too much gravity into it too fast, but that is a national security issue right now. And it is so minutely detailed that it goes all the way back to the honeybee. I know that there's farmers in the Midwest right now that are hurting because of the wax moth.
Terribly.
Because the wax moth is destroying the hives. Yellow jackets, those carnivorous little devils, that's detrimental. And if a kid goes through their entire school career and they never have access to any information like that, they're going to be 25 years old and not care, and then all of a sudden, hey, the bomb drops on them. It's a bad thing. So I'm glad that there's still an element in our schools that is progressive enough in their thinking to get regressive. And let's go back to our roots. And yeah, you can economize farming, you can economize agriculture to a great degree, but the family farm was the backbone that built this country. It wasn't the plantation. It wasn't the corporate farms. Our founding fathers, they all had farms.
All of them.
Now, granted, some of them just raised sugarcane to make rum, but hey, that's still agrarian. And the more kids that you can show, hey, nature is the domain that we have a provision and a responsibility and a stewardship over, because it gives us everything back that we need. Education has moved away from that a long time ago. And I'm sure that's a fight that you fight. Am I getting in a tender spot there?
I think our education system is doing everything in their power to make it as beneficial and provide success that they possibly can. I think there is, like everything else, like the farming, like farmers, you have all of these rules and these guidelines that have to be met, and all of this overhead that is controlling the little pieces and parts that probably may be able to move in a different way if it wasn't like that. Sometimes your small communities know quite a bit more than your larger cities. And it goes back to our school system is doing everything that they can to the best possibility that they can. I strongly support them and I think they're fabulous. But again, it's like everything else. We have to meet the guidelines. We have to check the boxes. It's hard.
The intelligence that you bestow, like the intelligence of understanding where bacon comes from, creates an autonomy for that child. And that's one of the perks of intelligence is you learn things and then you understand things better, and you'll have a little bit more respect and gratefulness for the surrounding area. It's not you're not closed off where everything's single serving. You're learning how everything works and how it's all connected, which is incredible. A a lot of today's society is sterilized and compartmentalized. So we are now getting into an area where it's a little dirty, it's a little gritty, but there's uh, a love to it.
Yes.
With your 4-H and the kids that go through that, do they also participate in the fairs and things, or is that a different section? How does that work?
So 4-H encompasses, yes, everything. We have conflicting schedules, I think is the way I want to phrase that.
Okay.
We had conflicting schedules with the fair this year because some of our camps and things like that overlap all the way up until the end of July.
Right.
It's like I have kids in Knoxville right now doing a project. Well, this one, it overlapped a whole lot with one of our camps that a lot of our fair, you know, a lot of the kids that are dedicated to the fair that bring 80 pieces every year. Well, they weren't here.
Right.
So it really is scheduling.
Got
It's
it.
a problem with that. My schedule did not allow me to be there. So, I mean, it's kind of a
Yeah.
multitude of things.
Sure. Are you nervous?
Yes.
I can tell.
Sorry.
It's okay. There's nothing to be nervous about. I know growing up where I grew up, and you're from Kentucky originally.
Yes, I am.
Northwest
Pennsylvania.
corner of New Jersey. I was my town was planted right between two state parks. The closest state police was in Augusta, New Jersey. It was 45 minutes away. So the biggest problem that we had was poaching. There really wasn't anything going on in my town.
It's good though.
But yeah, the Sussex County Farm and Horse Show was huge, and it became the state fair for New Jersey. And it was all mostly 4-H and then some rides. And Wayne County Fair, which was in Pennsylvania, that was about an hour and a half from me, northeast and going into northwest, going into Pennsylvania. Huge 4-H presence. And when I came down this way, I was under the belief that 4-H was kind of squashed because after I graduated, it wasn't part of the school systems. It wasn't there anymore. And when I found out that this was still going on, I felt morally obligated to volunteer and to help out as much as I can. But just seeing the kids and the difference from each group of kids that come through, it's
stunning to see, isn't it?
Its own trial and tribulations at some point. But yeah, the kids really do have. This is a greater impact than I don't think anybody really understands until later on. So you're planting the seeds for something better in those kids' lives.
Hopefully, yes.
That's wonderful. Next question on this: how do people get involved or participate in the 4-H?
Show up.
Show up.
Show up.
So the website is a great access point.
Yes.
Facebook, where would you recommend to get the information to participate?
The most current up to date is usually we post it on Facebook. That is because, you know, the younger kids are always on to me. Well, you should be on Instagram. Well, you know, you have to take the time to become technologically savvy with that. And that's not really, if I have time to do something, that's not what I want to be doing. So
Right.
I'm a failure on that part, but that's okay. I'm just.
I get it. I don't understand Instagram. I have an account and I don't know how it works.
And we have an account as well, but I'm not sure how to get it. So there's that too.
We're dating ourselves on that one.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It used to be. I mean, do you not remember putting up the flyers everywhere?
Bulletins.
Yeah.
Yes, that is what we always had to do.
And how about this? You actually have at least 25 friends' phone numbers memorized, and you called them.
Yep. And you call them.
Yeah.
That's great.
I was visiting a woman in the hospital Monday. She's into her 80s, and I was trying to contact one of her friends, and I said, "Do you have her phone number in your phone?" And she just went 865, And it dawned on me, I know no phone numbers anymore.
Really?
No, I remember phone numbers from my youth, but
So-
as far as anybody I've met in the past 5 years, I hate to break it to you, I do not know your phone number. But thank God Siri does, because that's the way. Oh, don't listen to me right now. But there's got to be an edge to that, and even though I'm a regressive person, I want to go back to some old ways. In order to attain that, we're going to have to learn some new ways. And I've experimented a lot with social media. That was it went from being, I knew there was some bad things about it, so I wanted to explore that from a pastor's standpoint. I wanted to not only look out for the kids in my church, but I wanted to look out for the adults too.
Yes.
So I dissuade folks from being too engaged technologically. But if you got a message to get out, you got to learn it. And Bruce and I are learning that now. And there's great potential out there, but there's also a lot of pitfalls. So I started playing with it 15 years ago. Whenever Facebook first came out, that was the only kid on the scene. And
you remember when Facebook used to be Farms?
do
you remember it was
Facebook.
Farmville? Yeah,
Farmville.
It was all farms. So there's a meme of I was here when it used to be all farms. Facebook was
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
it was at its birth and conception, it was a great thing. But then whatever technology there is can be good or it can be bad, and it's all on the condition of who controls it.
Yes.
And I played against the algorithms long before the past 5 years. But the past 5 years, I'm glad I had the foreknowledge of what was coming, because you can say, I mean, freedom of speech is not free. And I only have one more talking point, and I also look at it as an opportunity to volunteer. You said you teach public speaking.
I do.
That's kind of in my wheelhouse. I would love to volunteer. I've taught classes in homeschool co-ops where my class was nothing. It started with, let's learn how to shake hands and make eye contact. And 100% of the kids couldn't do it. They had no affirmation of self, and they had no ability to project, because they talk like this.
Yes.
With their thumbs.
Yes.
And I tell my church all the time, your thumbs will get you in more trouble than your mouth ever thought about it, because your mouth will hang it out there in the air, but your thumbs put it out there forever.
Yep.
And adults, grown adults, don't get that. You got to be careful. You got to be judicial. You got to know your audience. You got to know how to persuade. You got to know how to kind of quench it down. So if you're teaching kids how to speak publicly, I'd love to be a part of that.
Well, we do need judges all the time.
Well,
I judged for that.
You did.
Yeah, I remember.
A little dramatic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I would love to watch, because you see kids come out of their shell whenever they realize I might have something to say that somebody wants to hear or needs to hear. So I'd love to be a part of that, because that could take somebody from of a clamped kind of shell of a person and let them blossom.
I've watched that.
Yeah.
I've had the joy of watching that a multitude of times.
And 4-H is still involved in that. Why is that?
That's what I do.
I know. Why is there not more facets to get these kids out of their shells and get them out of technology? And
I'm only one person.
no.
I'm only one person.
I hold you accountable.
But we do, and a lot of the teachers are very, very supportive. Like I am very, very blessed to be where I am. Teachers, again, they are very supportive. I have one school that requires every student in their class to do a speech. Now, they don't all have to present unless they want to, and I encourage them to, but you're going to get some people that just ain't going to do that. They are not going to do that. And then you find some that are like, oh, I'm really good at this. And it's like, So we will take them as far as they want to go.
My wife is one of those people, terrified. I mean, she gets into utter panic mode. She works for an international multi-billion-dollar company, and she has to do a presentation, and she folds like a cheap suit. But she's really good at it. It's just the dread and the buildup. So I can't. She's uncoachable. I can't coach her. She won't listen to me. But as far as young kids coming up, I'd love to be a part of that.
Well, I started my public speaking career, and I'm going to date myself right here, when I was in the 11th grade. And I won a trip to Washington, D.C. because of my public speaking abilities.
That's wonderful.
Still terrifying. To
Really?
this day, it is still terrifying. I'm not a fan of public speaking. No. I don't like it. I can do it. But again, you still have the nerves. You still have all of the stuff that's still there. It's just overcoming kind of thing.
There's a key to it. Speak on what you're passionate about.
Always.
I don't think I'm smart enough to realize the fear in public speaking.
Really?
Yeah, you just put me out there and I'll just start talking.
And maybe that's the answer for me.
I'm not paying attention to, and I also like to work the crowd. So, but with that, the public speaking is your baby. That's the one that you really kind of like.
I like that one a lot. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are there other things now? I am seeing my kids have to read a minimum of 20 minutes a day and have to write a paragraph summary on what they read. Comprehension.
Yes.
Is it, how do you work with, is this something that, because if you're trying to relay information on all sorts of topics, how are you gauging the level of comprehension with the kids?
So again, 4-H, learn by doing. And that is the easiest thing. One of our projects that we do is we will make a parachute. You got 4 pieces of string and some sticky dots and a napkin, a paper clip, to give it a little bit of weight. We get all the sticky dots, and some of them will be tore up because it's on the wrong side. I don't know how that's the wrong side, but it's on the wrong side. And some will be tore up because their string will come out of the sticky dot. And then the one I find that they're having the hardest time is tying a knot.
Really?
Yes. It's to be able to tie a knot. They can follow all of these steps to perfection up until you tie that knot. And I don't know if it's because the instructions on tying a knot is not written down, if they're not picking up what you do. I don't know. So I don't know if that is a comprehension issue or if that is an explanation issue.
I can fix that, no problem. Just have a YouTube video.
I do a live demonstration.
No, they'll get it better off of.
Okay, you're right.
If it comes through a 5-inch screen, they will understand.
Understand it a whole lot better. And maybe that's the answer. Maybe you just show them a video. I don't know. But it's getting them to look up from their laptops or their phones or whatever. That's one of the rules when we come. The only reason you can have your phone is take pictures. So, and we have a ball.
I like that a lot.
Our team leaders, you saw that yourself.
Yeah.
So we always have fun.
And then we're going to talk a little bit about your core group. We're going to bring up Carla because she refuses to be on screen.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But she'll have to watch this. She has been incredible in everything, and even being on Facebook on promoting. She's been, but I'd like it if she can make it shareable because I can't, and it just has like and comment. Whatever she's doing, I can't share the information.
We'll fix that.
Please.
We'll fix that.
Because I want everybody to get exposed, and they might know somebody like, oh, my grandkids are going to be here for a week. We can do some of these projects just to get people involved. I think is important. But Carla, she started as a volunteer.
Yes.
And now she's part of the core.
Yes. So her story is very similar to mine. I got to take her kid for his 4th grade year to camp. Noah. Yeah. Yes. I got to take him to camp with me, and she, that is her only child. So she was mama hen 100% of the way. Yeah. Is he okay? Is he alive? Is he breathing? I'm like, yes, he's fine. He's actually having a great time. He was ready to go. He's like, okay, bye. And we had an awesome week. It was fantastic. And we came back and he told her about all of these things. And she's like, really? You got to do that? I want to do that. I'm like, okay, let's go. So she's kind of been with me since.
That's wonderful.
Yep.
Yes, she's always very active on Facebook, and that's helpful for me because I don't see a lot of the information. I don't go to the website enough because I'm busy with.
And again, it usually is on Facebook instead of the website.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah. And one more, again, 1000%. She is phenomenal. Um, you can tell when she's not in the office because, sometimes things don't get posted at a timely manner. As opposed to when she is. Just throw it out there on the 4-H side.
And I'm gonna wrap it around back to Kentucky. Were you involved with anything like this?
No, did not know it existed.
So you were just barefoot catching crawdads? What was your thing?
And yes, I caught crawdads. We played with earthworms. We catch black snakes. Most of the time, I was on a 4-wheeler though.
Yeah. Good deal.
In the mountains.
What part of Kentucky?
I will tell you that. Oh, that against
How far away from Harlan were you?
Harlan ain't bad.
How far away from Middlesboro were
I'm far away.
you? Far away. Okay.
I'm in eastern Kentucky.
She has that like New Jersey hillbilly to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually lived more of my life in Tennessee than I have in Kentucky, but I was born and most of my childhood was there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you'd like to add or get out there? Was this fun for you?
This was fun for me.
You don't have to be nervous.
I always.
I was
it's
expecting.
a camera.
Where?
Where?
I
I
don't
see
see
a
it.
phone.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to edit that.
No, we're not. That's called genuine. So.
No. No, we're always looking for volunteers, people to help.
And they can reach you best by.
Call in the office, come see us.
All right. And you can give me the office information, and I can link it to that so they can give a call.
Okay.
Are there future projects that you want to add into, or are you kind of full and happy with where it's at? What's the future look like?
Well, let's talk about the next 6 months. Let's make that easy. In the next 6 months, we're going to be hiring a new 4-H agent. Our last one got a promotion, and she's moved on up the ladder.
Yeah.
So we will, everybody has growing pains, and we have to be able to beg what is the right word?
Request.
Yes. Beg, borrow, and plead to get this part in this area and this part in this area. But once we get it all figured out, I think it'll be great.
Good. And so the next 6 months, what are some of the projects that are lined up? Is there skeet shooting?
We will always continue. There are certain core projects that we always have going. We have trap shooting going. We have, if you're interested in market hogs, we do that, but it's for showing purposes.
Mhm.
You have to have your own hog. We have sewing groups that are coming up, whether you're new to it or know actually how to do that. Let's see, try to think of the other opportunities. And we always have an honor club. Honor club meets once a month. Still working on that schedule again with a new person coming in. We have to match timelines and things like that. There's an honor club meeting that happens once a month and everybody's invited to. So we work with 4th grade through 12th grade.
Okay.
And as I say that, I mentioned it first, it was 4th through 8th. No, we go all the way.
Well.
Yes.
Is there an element in that 9th through 12th grade about career development?
Yes, sir. It's one of my favorite lessons.
Okay.
It is a reality check.
I hate to break it to this modernistic folks that are separating themselves from reality, but AI is not one to be able to. I know we got GPS tractors and combines, and we've got yield harvest and all the computers that you can do with, but until you get your feet in the dirt and your hands dirty, nothing's going to come out of the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And that is going to be, and I brought it up at first because I called it a lost art, but now I want to emphasize the fact that if you are 15, 16-year-old person and you're saying, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? What's going to be a sustainable income? What's going to make me wealthy?
Mm-hmm.
People got to eat.
Everybody's got to eat.
People got to eat. And yes, this is trademark Ricky Bobby. You can use it if you want to. You can't eat concrete.
1000%.
And it's great to build. It's great to be a part of programming the future. But that cannot happen unless we've got kids that have an understanding of the environment, the ecosystem, and what humanity needs from it. And I know we live in this bourgeois cult now where everybody says organic, and yeah, that's unless you're growing it yourself, you don't know what's in it.
Exactly. That is
And
exactly
we've
right.
got to have a generation that's got to learn from before this generation's gone. Because all the men that I grew up working on their farms, being a part of everything from cattle production to tobacco farming. And tobacco farming is my wheelhouse. That's my passion. And if it wasn't non-subsidized now and the government bought everybody out, I would still be raising tobacco. Mine would be clean tobacco. It'd be chemical-free tobacco. And I'm going to go on record and say nicotine is one of the greatest things that ever found the face of the earth under God's creation. And it's because it's medicinal.
It is, truly.
At 14 years old, I had my own tobacco. I knew the properties and the costs and the benefits of it. Unless we get a generation that comes along and says, hey, I want to be a part of that, we're going to be a hungry people.
A lot of people don't like to get hot anymore.
Oh, I know. I love it. If I could, I'd have 8 acres of tobacco right now. One, because it's part of my culture, my heritage, my lineage. It's what we did. My daddy caught me with a chew of his tobacco in my mouth when I was 11 years old. And there was no whipping in it because he would have been a hypocrite if he'd have done it. But he did say this: when you're old enough to work in it, you're old enough to use it. I'll never buy it for you. But that was the rule. So
right.
At 12 years old, I had a 1/4 acre. And I was working my uncle's farm. That kept me out of a lot of trouble.
You had something to do.
But that gave me a passion for watching stuff come up out of the ground. This is the first year I've had a truck garden since we built this new house. So it's been 7 years since. I used to have a 3-acre garden, and it was me and my wife, but we fed the community.
I was going to ask
that was a privilege. Now, granted, of that 3 acres, 2 acres of it was sweet corn, so that paid for a half a month in a condo in South Florida.
Yep.
But that was supplemental income. People don't realize that. You got a little patch of dirt, God ain't making no more of it. And so educate these kids to make the most of it and to get the biggest yield out of whatever patch of ground they got. And if it's to feed them and theirs, that's great. But feed the community if you can.
I agree with you 110%. My favorite memory is my grandmother. Right, it was a garden like you were speaking of. I think I got in trouble in that garden more than I ever did for the rest of my life combined. Because if you're not got that corn stalk, you're in big time trouble. And if you don't just peel the top of the green onion off and you pull up the whole thing,
you're
going to have to go back there and plant that.
Yeah.
It's just, yes. And picking up potatoes.
And that was a chore when I was a kid, but now it's my peace.
Really?
Yeah, I take my shoes off at least once a day. I like to do it in the morning, but my days are so busy I can't. But if I am afforded that sun coming up morning, one of my favorite things to do is pick up a hoe, take my shoes off, and spend 30 minutes getting rid of weeds in the dirt. I ground there. I get rid of the world's garbage there, and I watch something grow. And kids need to have access to that. Mm-hmm. There's something basic and elemental in who we are in being agrarian, not just horticulture, but the whole cycle of life. So I'll promote that. You need somebody that can run their mouth and teach kids how to run their mouth and judge kids running their mouth. You call us.
I think the kids run their mouth quite a bit.
Yeah, that they do.
My goodness. Is there anything you want to bring up? We're going to close this out. Anything that you like, fondest memory, anything?
Oh, I have all kinds of fond memories. The topics that we speak about, it brings, how you get the mental images of all the cool things. So talking about being able to raise enough corn to feed the community, or being able to fund something that you wanted to do based upon the work you put in, right? We have a family that the girls go down there and that's what they do. They sell their produce that they grew themselves.
That's great.
Oh yes, it is absolutely phenomenal. And then one of our public speakers that I'm so incredibly proud of. Started in 4th grade, nervous as all get out about how to give a speech. And I'm telling you, that'll be our next president.
Yeah.
He's just phenomenal
That's
as
wonderful.
far as public speaking goes. Yeah.
It's one of the things about this program in particular, 4-H. I had called it a lifeline, and it's a great way of bringing the community together. But it's also an insurance policy for the community. When the trucks stop bringing food to a supermarket, and everybody has these skills still, it's another way of taking care of the elderly and loved ones. And I'm using this as an example. I have patients that don't have financially, they can't afford certain things, and they will bring in vegetables from their garden for my family for treatment. So it's another way of bartering and showing love and respect to somebody. So I am incredibly grateful for who you are and what you do here. I really do appreciate this community, and I'm glad that we still have these fibers still running into the community and keeping it healthy. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure meeting you and talking to you.
You as well. Very much so.
Good?
Yes.
Wonderful. All right, guys, that's it. This is Robyn Elswick, and I will have her information at the bottom. So if you'd like to volunteer, or if you have kids or grandchildren that might benefit from the programs that the 4-H offers, please reach out, and we'll take it from there. We'll see you next week. Thank you.
Thanks for being with us.
Go hit that button.
It's on his side.